crime rate is high. The traffic noise is awful. This is why there's no transportation here. And because of that, it's honestly one of the most boring communities. Hey you guys, my name is Mohit. If you're thinking about moving or relocating to Calgary, by the end of this video, you'll understand Calgary to the core. So for someone who has never visited Calgary, this video will not only break the ice, but it'll also give you a self-guide so you can pinpoint what area is for you. And if you want to go even more in depth, once again, my name is Mohit and I'm a licensed realtor here in Calgary. So if you're thinking about buying, selling or relocating, give me a call and I'll be happy to help even outside of Calgary. So here in front of me, we have a very basic map of the city. Now, the good thing about Calgary is we are divided into 4 quadrants. We have the northeast, we have the northwest, the southwest, and southeast. And each quadrant has a different lifestyle and different kind of community. And we're going to break down all of that. But first, I want to start with some of the major highways around the city. So if you look at Stony Trail, this is kind of like a ring road. It wraps around the city and it's one of the fastest way to travel from one quadrant to another. Now, the other major highway we have is Trans-Canada, also known as 16th Ave. This is in fact the biggest highway in the world. It's the longest stretching highway and it's not typically as busy outside of Calgary, but within the city limits, 16th Ave is pretty busy most of the times. And besides being a highway, if you move close to the inner city, you'll see quite a lot of street lights and traffic lights, and traffic just wouldn't be moving like a typical highway. Most of Trans-Canada within city is about 50 to 60 kilometers. Now besides that, we have Deerfoot Trail, another very popular highway. Now Deerfoot Trail is something that will take you all the way to Airdrie, one of the satellite cities, and if you keep going forward, you'll actually land all the way in Red Deer and Edmonton. So a very busy highway, very popular for a lot of travelers. Besides that, here we have McClure Trail. Now McClure Trail is one of your in and outs from downtown, and it kind of ends right here, and the road going right after that is Memorial Drive. The good thing is Memorial Drive is expanding fairly soon, so you will see Memorial Drive kind of go all the way further here in the coming years. But so far, this is kind of Memorial Drive and this is kind of McLeod Trail. And lots of great places to do around McLeod Trail and lots of good areas and communities around McLeod Trail. And we'll get back to that in a closer detail shortly here. But besides that, we have Glenmore Trail, another popular place, and a few other highways like we have Sarcee Trail right here, we have Crowchild Trail. So this will kind of give you the breakdown of what kind of highways we have around the city and the popular places to commute in and out. Now besides that, Calgary is known for being close to the mountains. We're not very far from the Rocky Mountains right over here, and Trans-Canada, once again 16th Ave, is one of the famous routes on your way back from Banff. Now being inside the city here, we have 2 major satellite cities. We have Airdrie right over here and we have Chestermere right over here. Now Chestermere right here is one of the lake communities. It has a small town vibe, very peaceful, very relaxing, and a lot of outdoor activities happening even in winter time. As of this video, the population is around 30,000, and if we go to Airdrie right here, Airdrie seems to be a little bit bigger than Chestermere. Airdrie is almost hitting 100,000 in population in the coming few years. We're right now sitting at about 85,000. And here's Airdrie. Airdrie happens to be more popular choice because it's a lot cheaper in Airdrie and there's a lot more amenities, schooling, and a lot more stuff. And being right in the middle of one of the busiest highways outside of Calgary, Airdrie is a popular choice for many, and you're very close to the city limits. And if you want an in-depth video about Airdrie and Chestermere, let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to answer that. Besides that, we have the Bow River flowing through the heart of the city right here and going all the way out from right over here from the southeast of city. So our Bow River kind of enters from the northwest area and leaves towards the southeast. And without me having to make it very obvious or point out, you can see we have a lot of greenery within the city and a lot of places reserved around the city for heritage parks, especially around the Bow River, even in downtown area. And stepping out of downtown, we still have a lot of greenery throughout the city. So overall makes Calgary a beautiful place to be at. There's a lot of trails, lots of things to do outdoors, summer, winter times, we have it all. Now, talking about the quadrants, I'm going to start with the most popular one and the highly dense quadrant, which is Northeast Calgary. So on paper, Coventry Hills and Country Hills right here, this is part of Northeast, with Livingston, some part of it also being in Northeast, but that's kind of just on paper. What truly classifies as Northeast Calgary would be everything inner Deerfoot Trail and inner 16th Ave. So this area right here is what I would classify as the northeast of the city. So northeast is very popular with immigrants. You'll see a lot of immigrants living in the northeast here. We have good train systems, we have a lot of buses, one of the highly dense population in the city, but which also makes it a great place for any investor. So if you're an investor looking to have rental properties, northeast would be a great option. Our famous areas are kind of the Pine Ridge, Rundle, Whitehorn. This is where the train station is. We have the Sunridge Mall right over here. So everything around this is quite popular. And then we have some of the lake communities like Coral Springs. Tardale again has a little bit of water here, but one thing you will notice is northeast is very flat. There's not a lot of hills or mountains typically in the northeast side, and there's typically less outdoor trails or activities to do in the northeast. It's a working place mostly for immigrants, mostly for newcomers, but there's a very strong connection between cultures. People are willing to help each other out, and if you are brand new here, you'll find like-minded people in Northeast Calgary. And another great part about being in Northeast Calgary is if you're coming from a South Asian background, you'll find a lot of typical grocery stores where you'll find Asian foods and your worship places here in Northeast. And besides that, it kind of gives you a blend of everything. So you'll also find brand new communities here in Northeast like Redstone, Cityscape, Skyview, and even Savannah. And now with our city finally expanding, you'll start seeing brand new communities outside of Stony Trail like Homestead right over here. And if we go a little bit down here, you'll also see Belvedere kind of establishing right over here. Now, besides the northeast, we'll move down to the southeast of the city. Now, moving to southeast, there's some communities right here that are technically part of northeast, but I would kind of consider them right in the middle. They're right on the boundary lines, I would say. So I'm going to consider them more towards the southeast side of city. And a lot of the areas over here that you'll find like Red Carpet, Marble Park, Forest Lawn, Radisson, Dover, Erin Woods. These are some of the areas and some of the communities which are a lot older. You'll see smaller houses, but very nice sized lots. Not a lot of infills are starting to be here so far. And besides that, you'll see a lot of commercial right in the middle here. So the South Foothills, you'll find a lot of warehouses. CP Train has their station right over here. And we also have some trucking yards right outside of Stony. And besides that, this is where the heart of Southeast Calgary really lives. So Mackenzie Town, Copperfield, Mahogany, Urban Bay, Seaton. Now, among all of these communities, I would say Mahogany is the heart of Southeast. It's a lake community, beautifully built. People love being in Mahogany. And typically in Southeast, you'll see very young families or even couples that are not settled down yet living here in the Northeast. It's not a party city. It's a very family-friendly area and very good location. Again, lots of trails, lots of things to do outside. And some of the other areas right here are actually backing onto Bow River, which makes it an amazing place to just go for a trail, go for a bike ride, walk, and so many other outdoor activities. Moving ahead, we'll go to kind of the southwest area of Calgary. Now, southwest area of Calgary, I'll break it down into two parts. There's one of the older areas in southwest, which was a forever home, forever community for many individuals when they initially got their home, when these communities were building out. Like Acadia here, Willow Park, Southwoods, Kingsland, and all of the inner areas close to downtown and close to the Bow River. These are areas that are very high in demand, land value is very high, and we're starting to see a lot more infills come by in the area just because of the demand. A lot of people want to be close to downtown, they want to be in the southwest area of the city, and if you don't want to move further away into brand new communities, you will buy an infill and kind of stay close to inner downtown. And then the other part of Southwest Calgary would kind of be the Aspenwood, Springbank area, which is where luxury meets comfort. So these areas are kind of the multi-million-dollar homes where you'll find triple garage, 4-car garages, mansions, and you're still close to the city and very close to downtown here. You'll see a lot of private schools around here. So overall, you'll see a lot of families living in the southwest of the city, whether they're living in the older mature communities or the newer communities, which are private and luxurious. So overall, no matter if you're living in the mature part of southwest or the newer build mansion kind of areas in the southwest, it's typically for individuals who want best of both worlds. You're close to inner Calgary downtown, and you're also the closest to the mountains. You're only about an hour drive away. Southwest Calgary also tends to be the priciest area in the city, with average home prices easily being around 8 to 900,000 mark, and very easily you'll find multi-million dollar properties in the southwest area. But on the plus side, it's one of the best developed areas out there. Lots of green space throughout communities, everything is accessible, everything is close to you, walking distance if not minutes away. Private schools, in fact, a lot of universities like UFC and Mount Royal are also located kind of in the southwest area. A lot of the high schools that are well established are also in the southwest area. Heritage Park, there's honestly a lot that southwest has to offer, but definitely it does come at a price. And finally, moving back up here, this would be the northwest area of Calgary. Now, northwest Calgary is kind of a mixed bag of candy. You get a little bit of everything. You have a little bit of mountain views, a lot of hills in northwest itself, upper class immigrants, transportation, infrastructure, and kind of a good overview of whatever southeast, southwest, northeast part of city has to offer. You'll kind of find a blend of it all here in northwest. And that was a quick overview of Calgary and its quadrants. Hopefully this video helps you pinpoint to a quadrant that attracts you the most, and that way you can pinpoint communities that work the best out for you. If you want me to do a separate video on specific communities and separate quadrants, let me know in the comment section down below, and once again, I'm always available for a phone call to help you buy or sell here in Calgary. Once again, my name is Mohit, and I'll see you in the next one.